Brian O'Connor is on the run. After he let Dominic Toretto escape in the previous film, he lives on a boat and is a part of Tej Parker crew, competing in underground street races. Tej provides the cars, Brian drives them and wins the races. He wins another one, with a girl named Suki coming second. Turns out she is also close with Tej. During the race, Brian spots a pretty girl watching him closely. Soon police arrive and starts chasing Brian and he gets cornered. One of the officers uses an ESD launcher and disables his car. He is arrested and brought to Special Agent Bilkins, who makes a deal with him saying that if he accepts to take part in a mission, his criminal record will be wiped clean. O'Connor will be infiltrating an Argentinian drug lord, Carter Verone, working for him as a driver. Though he is partnered up with another officer, he requests to choose his own partner, proving that Agent Dunn has no idea about cars. O'Connor and Bilkins then travel to Barstow, California, where O'Connor proposes the deal to his childhood friend and ex-convict Roman Pearce. Roman is on house arrest, but he sure got driving skills required for this assignment. Though he blames Brian for putting him in jail, he agrees to work with him, hoping his record will be cleaned in return. They get brand new racing cars and get introduced to undercover U.S. Customs agent Monica Fuentes, who is working undercover in the Verona cartel for some time now. They take a trial against the other drivers to prove themselves worthy to work for Verona. Participants are to retrieve a package from Verone's impounded Ferrari at a boat dock, which Pearce and O'Connor reach first, acquiring the package. They are, however, interrupted by Markham, who arrives on the scene after being tipped off by their car's GPS on the assumption they were trying to ditch. This results in all other racers swiftly leaving. Pearce fires a gun at Markham and disables his unit despite O'Connor's warning. Then they escape. It looks like Monica and Verone are close, and Roman spots that Brian is into her and he's concerned that might get them in trouble. Vernon shows up and explains he needs someone to simply drive a package for him and offers $100,000. Pearce requests that the prize be doubled. Verone suggests they discuss in more detail at his nightclub later that night. Brian introduces Roman to Tej and Suki, and Roman begins to admire life in Miami. Tej lets him leave on one of his boats. Tej's mechanic checks the cars and discovers they are filled with FBI tracing equipment, telling them it's not going to be easy to get rid of it. When O'Connor and Pearce return to Markham, he blames them for trying to run away, but O'Connor said that Markham nearly blew their cover. Markham threatens to charge them both until they reveal information about Verona and suspect Monica's cover is in jeopardy since her relationship with Verona. The two are allowed to continue the case, although O'Connor suspects that after the job is done, Verone is likely not to keep his word and will try get rid of them. They plan a workaround which requires 2 more new cars and ask Tej to arrange a race with 2 of the racers from the Verone audition race. They win 1969 Camaro and 1970 Challenger. O'Connor and Pearce arrive at the nightclub and meet Verone. He brings them into the VIP lounge and a police detective named Whitworth is also there. Vernon tortures him to make him keep the local police away from O'Connor and Pearce so they may transport the money. He uses a champagne bucket to cover a huge rat on Whitworth's chest and uses a blowtorch to have the rat scratch and bite Whitworth in an attempt to escape the heat. The next morning, Monica gets on Brian's boat and warns him that they will kill them after the job. Soon, Verona's men arrive, but Roman distracts them so they don't catch Monica with Brian. Still, things get a bit out of control when they search the boat, but Verone interrupts the fight. Boys report to Bilkins about what happened and what they find out. Bilkins wants to call off the operation, but Agent Markham tells them to go on not carrying much about their lives. Before the mission begins, Bilkins alerts a police chopper to watch from a distance while Markham is in charge of a special unit. The corrupt detective Whitworth calls in the army of police units he has waiting nearby. Boys ride in their Mitsubishis and 2 of Verone's henchmen riding along. They put the money in a trunk and the police appears. Chase begins and a police helicopter arrives and 2 police SWAT officers use ESD on them. Pearce manages to dodge, but O'Connor's car is harpooned, causing its electronics and the car to shut down. Brian daringly removes the ESD hook and throws it on a police car, causing it to lose control, which buys them some time. They lead the police to a complex. There, O'Connor's and Pearce's street racer friends create a diversion, allowing O'Connor and Pearce to sneak away, continuing their mission. But police is still on their ass until they stop at the beach, and it turns out it's Tej and Suki driving their cars, while O'Connor and Pearce have switched to the Camaro and Challenger they won before. They escape the police and are ready to move on to the next step of their plan. They split up. Pearce soon ejects Verone's thug that was riding with him and meets Jimmy at the agreed location, when Jimmy questions Pearce being the only one who has arrived. Meanwhile, O'Connor is told by Verone's accompanying thug to not go to the airfield, which they thought was the destination, but to a boat dock instead. There he is questioned at gunpoint where Pearce and the other half of money is. Verone then revealed he knew Monica was an undercover US Customs agent when she slipped up for informing US Customs agents about his plan to flee the country. Markham's SWAT forces prepare to storm Verone's private jet, but they only find a decoy. Verone leaves while sending O'Connor away with his men to be executed. O'Connor is about to be killed, but Pearce arrives just in time to ram Verone's thug's van, and O'Connor fights the thug in his Camaro, with Pearce joining in on the fight shortly after. On his yacht, Verone puts Monica in captivity. O'Connor and Pearce get in the Camaro and plan to save Monica from Verone by jumping with the Camaro off a nearby ramp and landing on the top of the yacht. They succeed but are nearly killed by Verone, who pumps his shotgun. O'Connor shoots at Verone with the gun taken from the thug earlier. Monica manages to escape and seizes Verone's getup, with O'Connor and Pearce relieved that they have succeeded in their mission. Verone is arrested and half the duffel bags carrying his drug money are recovered from O'Connor's Camaro. Markham agrees on their deal to have their records cleaned. They meet up with Monica and Bilkins, who states that Suki and Tej were released. O'Connor and Pearce plan to continue remaining in Miami, where they could open a garage, but when asked on how they could afford it, both secretly confess to each other that they have taken some of the money from the bags before, and that's how the film ends.